He's ready, y'all, as the Pelicans suffer another loss. A rookie shines bright in that defeat, and he's a player that we've been big on here on Pelicans Digest since the start of the season. We're going to take a look back at Micah Peavey's big night against the Detroit Pistons inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, y'all? It's your people, Melz On The MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Thank you so much for tapping in with me on this Thursday. And the Pelicans, of course, suffered another loss last night to one of the elite teams in basketball right now, the Detroit Pistons, 112-104. It was expected. This was expected. Let's not sit here in front and kid ourselves. Detroit is probably the second best team in basketball right now, right behind Oklahoma City. And Pelicans never had a chance in this game, was dominated from start to finish. And Zion Williamson, of course, had to go back into the locker room and couldn't finish the game. And we'll get into that in a minute. And also, we got to talk about Micah Peavey and his big night and how he might be giving us some hope. He might have some hope as far as the direction on what this team can continue to build upon. But first, I got to let you know that this video is brought to you by our friends at Kalshi, the largest prediction market in the United States. When you use the code in the description and use this code, Digest NBA, use the link in the description and use this code, Digest NBA, to get $20 when you trade your first $100 on Kalshi. And of course, Kalshi is a regulated market that you could trade on anything, sports, politics, elections, anything. You can trade on it right now and cash out at any time on Kalshi. And one of the big things and one of the big lines that's going down right now on Kalshi is the AFC Championship game that's coming up real soon between New England and Denver right now. Denver dealing with Bo Nix's injury and that broken ankle. Looks like New England is going to run away with this one, but you never know with Sean Payton. And also, another line that's very interesting to me is who's going to win the MVP for the football championship. And I guess that's the Super Bowl championship game for MVP. Will it be Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford? Well, one of them's got to get there first. So if you want to jump in on that line early, you need to jump on now on Kalshi. Use the link in the description and use the code DIGESTNBA to get a $20 bonus when you trade your first $100 using Kalshi. And once again, we got to thank our friends at Kalshi for sponsoring this video. And let's get into the game last night. And of course, Zion Williamson, who was slated and listed as questionable before the game, made a go of it last night and couldn't finish the game. From what I understood, from what was being reported, his sickness flared up in the middle of the game and he couldn't finish. He was physically drained after dealing with from what we was told, a stomach bug earlier in the day. And this I'm gonna put on the organization. The reason why this happened last night, because of this organization. Why are we having a season ticket holder celebration in the middle of the season? We need to start doing that at the start of the season or at the end of the season, not during the season. And, y'all gonna get mad at me for saying it, but sending these unvaccinated fans and, and kids into our arena, into the space and letting them hug up on these players and take photos with them, got them sick in the middle, got one of our star players sick in the middle of the season. I'm sorry, that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. You're going to have this thing at the start of the season, and I'm a season ticket holder. Have this thing at the start of the season. Do it during the back-to-basketball event or have a weekend around it. But not in the middle of the season. I know the season's lost. I know it's in the middle, but this is something that probably has to stop this season. Let this be a note to this organization that maybe it's not a good idea to have the fans running around the practice facility and in the building in the middle of the season and exposing your players to God knows what. So keep a bubble around them during the season so we can avoid these kind of things. So that's just my thoughts on what happened with that, with Zion Williamson last night. Because it was a bad night for Zion. It was a bad night. And mainly because Detroit defensively played him well. But as you can see, he played only 15 minutes, was gone by a couple of minutes into the third quarter. Had 4 points, 4 rebounds, minus 10 on the floor. It was just a bad night. It was a bad night for Zion, and it was really because, in my opinion, I think Detroit was able to keep him from getting busy, and, of course, him not wanting to continue to try to get that range shot going. So that was a bad night. It was just a bad night for that, and I think I have to blame the organization for that. Saddiq Bey, as I predicted, had a strong night, 20 points. I predicted that he was going to have a strong night. But the night belonged to, in my opinion, and the reason why we should have some sort of hope with this organization was with Micah Peavey. Shout out to Micah Peavey, man. We've been seeing him slowly improving all throughout the season. Before the season started, I said that, and we said on this show, that Micah Peavey was probably going to be the steal of the draft as far as second rounders go. I don't know of another second rounder that is making as much noise as Micah Peavey. And we saw it last night. It was just a great night for him. And he took a step forward offensively from what we saw. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals as well. And this was something, one block and 1 turnover. And let me say this. I said this on Monday, on the show on Monday, when we talked about how James Borrego keeps rolling out this starting lineup. And you saw it last night. Gets down early, 13-0. 13-0 to start the game. That was like the ugliest opening start of the season, by far and away. And you roll out that starting lineup, and once again, you put in the second line, and the second line, just off effort alone, ladies and gentlemen, just off effort. They just did it off of effort. Was able to claw back into this game and get it within a manageable distance. A distance where your starter should have been able to come back in and get busy. Nope. Because the starters would come back in and Detroit would go back up 10. So, this is again why I keep screaming, start the damn second line. Start the damn second line. What else you got to lose at this point? They're playing just based off of effort. Just off of effort. I don't know what it is with the starting five that they just don't show any effort when they get out there. They're making lazy passes. And the crazy thing about last night was Peavy outplayed your rookies, your 2-star rookies. Jeremiah Veers had 5 points and had 20 whole minutes. 12 points and 20 whole minutes. Derik Queen, 23 minutes, 5 points. But again, Micah Peavey comes into the game and, despite all that was going on, including 7-32 3-point shooting, we already know this team is horrific at 3-point shooting. Peavy hits 3 of those 3-pointers. He's good for at least 3 of those. And this is something that we said at the start of the season. Micah Peavey is the steal of the draft. And one of the quotes from Chris Lambert, he says in Pelicans Debrief, he said on a nightly basis, he's cutting at the right times, coming off screens, and getting open threes, attacking the basket with force, running the break in transition, and going up on putback attempts. But against the Pistons, he connected on these chances. And that's the thing. He's been doing that all season long, if you noticed him. It just was, some of the shots just wasn't falling, which is why we sort of gave him the grace, because, again, he's a rookie. And we gave him that grace. We had to give him the grace that he could improve. But last night, he broke through. And I don't know what's happening with Bryce McGowan's. I don't know what's happening with Jordan Hawkins. It seems like those two have both fallen off a cliff. You thought for a minute there it was Hawkins And then Hawkins started falling off a cliff. Bryce McCollum's come in, take his job, take the starting job from him. He's starting to fall off a cliff. And now you got Peavy coming in, and Peavy has been at least consistently improving his game all season long. Consistently has been there, offensively and defensively. But mostly it's because of effort. Mostly because of effort. Just effort and energy. And that's why I think he's ready. I think he's ready. I wouldn't mind seeing him maybe not starting yet. I don't think he's ready to start yet. But he should be a permanent second-line member now, at least at this point. And if things continue to fall off the cliff as far as with the other wings, then go ahead and start him. Go ahead and start him. But I'm continually of the argument that as far as with Fears and Queen, they have hit their wall, and you have to start putting them on the second unit. Or if anything, how about you consider this? How about you put all them rookies together on the second unit and let them start developing together? Let Peavy, if you're going to keep Peavy, and Peavy needs to be in your long-term plans, and he's showing you this breakthrough now, you need to go ahead and let this and try to see if this could be a core three that you can start building around and start experimenting with that and see if there's some chemistry and some development there. I get it. You love the Queen, the Murphy situation. I get that. And like I say, we still trying to see what's going on with Zion. Still got to see what's going on with Herb. Just start seeing, at this point, just start experimenting. Start seeing, because the thing that's with me, that's bothering me as well is, what direction are we going in with this team at this point? What are we doing? That's a question I'm going to continue to ask. What are we doing? What are we doing? What direction are we headed in with this organization? Are we rebuilding? Are we still trying to be competitive? What exactly are we doing as we rapidly steamroll towards another 40 losses? Rapidly. But again, to wrap this thing up in summation, let's stop putting the season ticket holder celebration in season. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with Peavy. Let's see if Peavy can get more time and get more of a role in what's going on with this team. And if anything, let these youngins develop together on the second unit in some way, shape, or form. Let's see if we can make this happen. Because again, you're still sitting at 10 wins. You're rapidly approaching 40 losses. We'll see. What are your thoughts, though, on what I'm proposing this time? Clap back with your thoughts in the comments. And again, thank you so much for subscribing and joining us here on Pelicans Digest, where you get the best analysis, opinions, and more about the New Orleans Pelicans. It's Melz talking about those Pels. Clap back with your thoughts in the comments on my thoughts on the season ticket holder celebration and how the organization might have messed things up. And also, let's discuss Micah Peavey. Is he really the steal of the draft? I think he is. What are your thoughts?